Yes. Well, yes, I wrote mine down, and so I think you guys were right.
I I was taking the last one, so
Yeah.
this
So
week.
The
I
layout, the organized labor, or the.
I had the organized labor.
and I had compensation and employee benefits.
So I have discipline and wage. Okay.
Yes. And so what's going to happen with this next group where there's only two categories?
I think the doohickeys is only the three, isn't it? I think this is our last doohickey.
Yeah, this is our last
Oh,
doohickeys.
is it?
Yeah,
I thought we had to do four. Yay!
yeah, we're almost done.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Then never mind. Yay.
And Barry gets to graduate.
Yup.
Yay. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So jealous.
It's time. I'm done with school for now.
I'm so unmotivated.
I have hit the wall as well. I'm like, are we done yet? Are we done yet?
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, well, I get that way each semester, but I mean, like, I think I told you I saved all my hard classes for last. Um, my life is kind of stressful right now, and I'm thinking school is the last thing I need to be doing. But at the same time, if I just finish and go get, just be done with it and get that off my plate,
Uh,
that would take care of some of the stress too. So,
right. And you said you have 2 more classes left?
no, I have a whole year. I have 10 classes. Well, I mean, honestly, if I like sat down and really like hacked, because I actually with the last of my foundations, I did five. Was it 5 classes in one semester? Or, I mean,
Wow.
they were all I did 12 credits, so whatever that equaled out to. I think it was 5 classes. Um, the foundations was easy, Let's face it, the religion classes and stuff. Yeah, they were busy work, but they weren't hard.
Uh-huh.
These are getting hard.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that because I'm working full time, I can only take 1 class at a time. And so my 5 classes is going to take me another year,
Yeah.
which is depressing. I'm like,
Well, I've been averaging 2 to 3. So like if I bumped it up to 3 or 4, but 3 or 4 of the foundations is way different than 3 or 4 of these upper grad ones.
Yep.
So, anyways, sorry to vent.
That's all good. Okay.
So who's gonna lead the discussion, even though you don't turn anything in?
I don't have that in front of me. I could pull it up.
I did last week.
And you did a great job.
You did a great job, Carrie. Yep.
I wasn't looking for. You guys are funny. I wasn't digging for approval.
No, we're saying you did such a great job. Maybe you should do it again.
Oh. Well.
All right, I'll pull it up and I'll read off of it.
Well, okay, but part of the problem is so. Um. Oh no. Okay, so last night I pulled up the Baxter Corp 1985 negotiations, and there's supposed to be a document under Baxter, and there's supposed to be a document under Local 190. It's the same. When you click on them, they open the same thing. So
It's a little bit different. If you look through it, some of the wording is a little bit different.
really, because I like.
So, like,
It felt like the same to me.
it does pretty much look the same, but if you go through, like, I think this was it. Maybe it was.
The summary's different.
Like, yeah, the work rules. I think one of them was what the union wanted and what they ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at work rules, the whole paragraph is like different.
Oh.
One of the big problems, and
So on the quiz, what did you guys say was a good wage?
I thought their idea of just doing the average between the 3 other companies was a great idea.
I just pulled a number out of my hat,
Me too.
and and told them I felt like it was worth upping it and then eliminating the target incentives, but leaving the yearly bonuses
Uh,
because I felt like they needed something to. Are we recording? I don't know.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I just kind of felt like if we gave them something to work for, bump up their pay. Because I have worked for a company that was based on production, and there are some people who cut corners, and they were making over 100 grand because they were able to, and then the rest of us were not making that. Let's just say,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's not fair to the ones that can't. I physically cannot sit at my desk all day and A, morally cut corners, and B, keep up with their production.
Uh,
So,
I've pulled up the discussion leader stuff.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Um, discuss your strategy for getting the wage agreement you want.
Well, I think a strategy that everyone uses and everyone expects is you go in high, knowing that you're going
Right.
to negotiate down.
Right. You're gonna have to bring it down. I know. That's exactly. Don't start with this is exactly what I want, because they're gonna be like, oh well, in that case.
Do you find that being LDS, that kind of stuff is hard? Because I find that kind of stuff. Like I have a friend who's LDS who's a salesperson, and I'm like, I just can't negotiate like that.
Hmm.
Like it just is not. I mean, it feels wrong to me. I always say what I want. I always say what I mean,
Hmm.
and I just kind of fall under that honesty that like I can't
Well, it
negotiate.
also saves so much time when you're thinking, oh my heavens, I don't have 20 minutes to
Mhm.
banter back and forth about this. I just need to get it done and just be done. And um, so yeah, saying this is what I want, this is what I need.
Well, like for example, he happens to be the wrestling coach. So I was talking to him last night, and I said, "Well, I need to get back for church on Sunday." And he's like, "It's in the handbook that you don't need." Like he's like negotiate with me, and I'm like, "Why do you care how I do my calling?" I feel like I need to be there, but I just can't negotiate like that.
In the handbook that he was arguing.
Yeah, he likes, and I'm like, "Does it make you feel bad that I feel like?"
That's probably it, actually. That
I'm
he,
sure it's more about it because they're kind of technically less. They would be classified as less active, but.
huh,
Because he's giving like because how the conversation started was I said my worst night. Okay, so the kids are going to Amarillo this weekend, and the
nice.
brackets are huge. Like my kid has a 17-man bracket. That is huge. And so I jokingly said earlier I said, oh, I hope they go. You know, he's totally gonna go 0-2. We're gonna be because it's it's two. I don't know what it's called. Two match elimination. So as soon as they lose two, you're out. But if you win, you keep on winning. You have to keep on going. And I said, my worst nightmare is that we're going to be there until midnight because
Yeah.
they keep winning, and then I'm going to have to drive all night to get back. And he was like, "Why do you feel like?" And then he started like he said, negotiating with me about why I need to be there on Sunday or why or do not need to be there on Sunday. I thought that was interesting.
Yep.
Sorry.
All right. Let's see what the next question was.
Pretty much just discuss wage. What do we think what is a fair wage, I guess?
Well, we kind of talked about that a little bit, about keeping their incentives and stuff and having them work a little bit towards that, but then keeping their base pay pretty competitive.
Yeah.
I said bump up the base pay, get rid of the target incentives, and leave the yearly bonuses.
See, I was thinking make the base pay average between the other companies.
Right.
Like pick your three companies, and then get an average base pay. Make the incentives, keep them, but make them harder to achieve because they're only operating at 80% of what other companies do per employee. And I mean, because the company has they the way they're set up is awesome. I think. I mean, from an employee perspective, like who wouldn't want to work for them?
Mhm.
Um, so it would be nice. It would be nice to keep at least try and keep that. I mean, obviously you won't be able to, but if you could, you know, let's lessen it a little bit. People are going to get less money, but they still have a job. And I think their 52-week policy was awesome.
Mhm.
Like if there's going to be layoffs, they let you know a year ahead of time.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice.
But at the same time, can they really like foresee? Uh,
Answer that type of thing.
well, and then they did get themselves into a little bit trouble with, kind of using incentives to get rid of the older people, and then
Yeah.
sometimes when you have a work crew of too many new people, like when I used to train, I would tell people that were helping me train, I'm like, do not train them with the shortcuts, because then everyone's going to be a bad copy of a bad copy of a bad copy.
Uh-huh.
Like, teach them from the top, and then let them figure out how they need to adjust,
Uh-huh.
because, to their job.
Hmm.
But I missed it. Was there data on the average? Because I threw a number out there like $15, like bump them up a little bit, and then. Well, because
I
part of the problem is because the incentives are the unknown, because it's based on target, so they could make it, or they could make it really good, and I think that throws off the company's numbers, because how can they plan on people hitting marks? You know what I mean? I think that
hmm
also is bad for their money management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a cap or something. That just came to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's an interesting point. That if they was something more like that, then
Like, what if it like? Well, I mean, would that totally um, not motivate people if you're like, okay, you can only make the target once
uh-huh.
a quarter or
I,
quarterly, or or
I think it probably would demotivate people. Um,
yeah, that would.
but I mean, if you set the standard where your competition's at, and then if you're producing above that, give them a bonus there. I mean, like obviously these people are capable of it. They have been, and they usually make well above, you know.
Right. I did see that they're making bank.
Uh-huh. Just make them work a little harder for it. I mean, because if you keep it there, if you're outdoing your competition, then you're golden.
Yeah, people are more likely to stick around and work a little harder if they know what's out there and stuff. Possibly, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. What's next? All right. This is where we were to divide up into the two teams to negotiate the labor stuff or the contract. Um. Oh, now we're supposed to. This is where we get the password. Direct your team to reading with the password. Were you able to get that?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what
Yeah.
password for what.
Yeah, it says something about getting a password for the debrief-in notes, but I was able to get those. Huh.
Or
All right.
maybe he just opened them.
All right. Oh, hang on. I need to go back because I clicked on something.
No, they did go on strike. Hmm.
Okay. Oh, we're supposed to go away and then come back whenever it comes back, negotiate the final contract. But I think we've talked about that of what we would do. Was there anything else that we would change? Because they talked about pay and then the incentives. What else was there? The layoff procedure. We liked that they got the year to. We talked about the incentive program. Rules. What was that one? Let's see. The new plan requires trainee employees to be trained in multiple positions as
Like cross-train people?
Let's see, we've discussed this with our manager and we don't see an alternative to maintaining full control over this rule. What are our thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
What are our thoughts on that, about the cross-training? Do we think that it's going to be a benefit to the company, or should that be part of the negotiation that we eliminate?
I personally like cross-training. I think everyone should be able, but at the same time, because there's nothing worse than someone going, oh, that's not my job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
at the same time, I think you do need, when you have a job where it takes many people doing different parts, people should be well trained in their spot.
right.
Yeah.
I think the employees would want to be cross-trained because that's just more job security.
Yes.
Like, okay, so my job just got eliminated, but I can do that one. And you're short people.
Right.
Or I'm willing to learn it.
Well, and I just think about, oh, so-and-so called in sick. And
That's
how many times are you like, oh, geez, thanks a lot, because now all my stuff is going to get backed up because there's nobody to do your stuff. If I knew what he was supposed to do and I knew kind of what was going on, I could step in and finish up a couple things or take care of a few things if I had to.
True.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
I think also if you leave the cross-training up to the employees, and how they want to do it, I guess. Like have the programs in place, but then let the employees choose.
Yeah.
It kind of, I don't know, it kind of weeds out your bad employees from the get-go because they're not going to want, they're just there for.
Yeah, to get the job.
To do the job, and it's like it allows people to do more and better, and basically your guys that don't really want to be there will fall out.
Mm-hmm.
Or get excited about it.
That's true.
Well, you hope.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But then at least you would know right off the bat that,
Yeah.
this isn't really going to work out for this individual, so maybe we need to put him in this position, or maybe he needs to be doing this. Maybe he would, I think it goes back to that mentoring and figuring out what they're good at. Putting them in a position that they're not good at, that they don't like, is just going to be hard for them, and it's not going to be beneficial to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out, he loves to collate, then put him in the mail, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
There isn't any more real questions.
Awesome. We covered them pretty well.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay.
I wonder if he quit doing the quizzes the way he was because people were taking advantage of it.
Like how?
Look,
Being able to redo them?
Yeah.
No, I've taken all of them you possibly could, and they're all the same. It was just that one that was a little bit tricky that you had to write in.
So this next quiz is the same multiple choice?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I just did, yesterday I did the layoffs and dismissing employees, and they were the same.
Nice.
Oh, so you're working ahead? Look
Yeah.
at you!
Yeah. I'm hoping to be done with this on Saturday.
Nice.
Or I'm hoping to have the opportunity to be done with this on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But probably not, because I have to do the reading, and it doesn't open until Saturday, so...
There you go.
But so the reading isn't open, but the quizzes are?
No. The reading opens that day. The quiz is open that day, but I probably should do the reading before I do the quiz, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Well,
nothing.
we had one earlier in the year that was a fill-in, and but then he, like, I guess the information wasn't available or something like that, and so he like discounted it, or I don't know.
I think I recall that as well. Well, then there was the pretest one about the Idaho state laws and stuff.
Good night.
That one was a bit tricky since I'm like, I don't know, I don't live in Idaho.
I got like a
Well, you know, I did
32
that.
on that.
I had a I don't know if you guys are on Facebook, but there's there's a page dedicated to just online school.
Oh,
And many people have complained, like, when it comes to certain classes, like they always use Idaho examples, and they're like, there are people who live other than Idaho, but I don't
right.
know. But
Mhm.
is it just because it's convenient for BYU? I don't know.
I don't know,
Probably.
maybe it's the standard because we don't know where everybody's going to be, so they just automatically put that as the standard. But that's, yeah, it's confusing because I answered most of those questions according to what I thought I knew, but it was just all Colorado law. And I don't know, I didn't look up Idaho law. But yeah, I think it's probably just because that's where the school is.
Yeah.
All right, time
All
to stop
right.
cooking. You guys having to cook today, or is somebody doing it for you?
I have a ham to cook.
Nice. Are you having people over, Carrie?
No, I have two sisters that live in the area, and one of them has a bigger house, so we make her host.
Nice.
But we all kind of potluck it. You know, we
Yeah,
all take sides, and so.
yeah. How about you, Barry?
We're just, I don't know, my wife will probably help cook. We're gonna go have Thanksgiving with her family. We've been staying with my family, and we're gonna go over there for
You guys are
dinner
both in the
today.
same area?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna go shoot stuff and blow stuff up with her younger brother, so it's all good.
Watch out for your fingers.
Well, have fun.
Thanks.
Happy Turkey Day.
Thanks. Thank
Yeah.
you guys.
All right, bye.
All right.
Oh, wait, next week. What are we
Oh,
doing?
well, I guess we're back to regular schedule.
Back to third. Is it
But
Thursday? 5?
Yeah.
we have that doohickey paper. Um, I'm planning on working on it on Sunday.
Okay. I was gonna try and get my section to you today.
So whenever, but
Mine is there, but I was having trouble pulling out more information, so
all
hopefully
right.
it's enough. If not, let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
All right, bye.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye.